What do you get when you mix a penis, potato, and a boat? A dictatorship. Today, I'm going to recap a 2000 crime drama film called American Psycho. The film opens with Patrick Bateman, a prosperous NYC investment banker obsessed with his lifestyle and persona. His day kicks off with fitness routines, alternating showers, and numerous beauty regimens. He then heads to his job, anticipating a flawless setting including an impeccable office, efficient secretary, and a top-notch working environment. The executive prefers elite restaurants with reservations made well in advance. At a club, Patrick walks up to the bar and flirts with the bartender. He utters harsh comments that nobody catches. Had someone noticed and informed the authorities, many tragedies might have been prevented. Following a night out, Patrick's morning rituals remain consistent: skincare, workouts, and a nutritious meal. At work, he praises his secretary, Jean, then swiftly offers her fashion tips. That night, he dines with his fiancée, Evelyn Williams, who continually discusses her upcoming party. She mentions luxury items, but he's disinterested and asks her to cease. During dinner, it's evident that Evelyn is fond of one of Patrick's coworkers. Patrick often sees Courtney, an old friend who regularly uses narcotics. After an ATM withdrawal, the sound of heels captures Patrick's attention, leading him to pursue a woman. She observes him, impressed by his lavish appearance, oblivious to any threat since he doesn't resemble a typical criminal. The following day, Patrick confronts a laundromat over improperly cleaned bed linens with large red spots. When questioned, he claims it's fruit juice. Feeling uneasy, he hastily exits. Later, Patrick invites Courtney to the city's renowned restaurant, Dorsha. She instantly agrees. Attempting a reservation there is unsuccessful. They dine elsewhere, but Courtney, being intoxicated, is oblivious. Her ramblings frustrate him. At work, Patrick's day starts with a meeting. His coworker, Paul Allen, engages him, mistakenly identifying Patrick as another colleague. Patrick refrains from correcting the confusion and proceeds to respond as if he were Marcus. Post-meeting, the men congregate, pridefully showcasing their business cards. They emphasize the texture, typography, and palette of their cards. Yet Patrick's sole focus is on Paul Allen's card, seeing it as a genuine competition. When shown Paul's pristine white card, Patrick's brow dampens with perspiration. The card's perfection triggers immense jealousy and desire in him. Choosing to stay back at the office, Patrick opts to traverse a dimly lit lane instead of hailing his chauffeur. Encountering a destitute man, Patrick initially extends money before hurling derogatory remarks and fatally stabbing him using a blade from his portfolio. By morning, Patrick, while on a massage table, remains unperturbed by his prior evening's gruesome act. His disdain for those surrounding him preoccupies his thoughts. At a Yuletide celebration, Patrick extends a dinner invitation to Paul Allen, never clarifying his actual identity. Following their agreement, Evelyn queries Patrick about Paul's misidentification of him, which he evades. Their dinner rendezvous leads to a conversation about women. Drunkenly, Patrick entices Paul to his residence. Candidly, Patrick expresses his malevolent tendencies toward young women, but Paul dismissively chuckles it off. Inside Patrick's dwelling, protective sheets blanket the floor and furnishings. Donning a raincoat, Patrick wields a hefty axe. Caught off guard, Paul meets his end, with crimson splatters decorating the room. Patrick's nonchalant disposition suggests he's uninterested in concealing his malevolence. Encasing Paul's body, he drags it to his vehicle, leaving behind traceable trails. Proceeding to Paul's residence, he gathers select items, leaving a voicemail on his lover's machine about an unforeseen London trip. Notably, Patrick doesn't shield his identity, leaving fingerprints. Detective Kimball soon visits Patrick's workplace, inquiring about Paul's whereabouts. Despite the line of questioning, Kimball finds no reason for suspicion. Later, Patrick ventures to a rundown area, enticing a young lady, Christie, to accompany him home with a lucrative offer. She acquiesces. En route, the man arranges for another woman named Sabrina, specifying his preference for a sophisticated blonde. Once at his home with both women, he treats them to premium wine, sets up a recording device, and prompts them to commence. Initially, they disrobe and interact affectionately with one another. He keenly observes and eventually participates, pausing occasionally to admire his physique and prowess reflected in an expansive mirror. Post their shared experience, they slumber. Upon waking, he restricts their departure, revealing instruments from a compartment. Some hours subsequent, he compensates them for their time, though signs of abuse mar their figures. At a dining establishment, his coworkers converge, discussing their view of women as lacking depth. Patrick eerily references a serial killer's grotesque musings, a comment that surprisingly doesn't raise suspicions among his peers. Lewis, another associate, showcases a business card, its quality surpassing even Paul's. This incenses Patrick. Intent on harm, Patrick stalks Lewis to the restroom. Donning gloves, his malicious intent is misconstrued by Lewis as a romantic gesture, causing Patrick to hastily depart. Detective Kimball revisits Patrick's workspace, probing about his whereabouts during Paul's vanishing. Patrick, caught off guard, postpones a detailed reply, suggesting a meal to discuss further. Post-work, he shares private moments with Courtney. Later, he frequents a club, leaving with an alluring blonde model. By day, he plays with a strand of her hair at his desk. Following his late-night escapade, visible fatigue prompts him to don sunglasses, occupying his time with crossword puzzles. When Jean, his secretary, enters, Patrick spontaneously invites her to the city's elite eatery, Dorsha. Feigning a booking impresses the enamored Jean. Before their outing, he suggests a stop at his residence, presumably to prepare. Retrieving ice cream from his fridge, he spots the severed head of the model. Jean, unaware, shares her aspirations and future goals. As Patrick circles her, he contemplates a method for her demise. Grabbing a power tool, he's about to strike when an incoming call from Courtney interrupts, her incessant chatter anchoring him back to reality. Patrick urgently tells Jean to depart, aiming to spare her. Oblivious to the impending threat, Jean complies. Later, Patrick dines with Detective Kimball, who inquires about Patrick's whereabouts on the day in question. Kimball speculates that Paul might reappear. This leaves Patrick perspiring, torn between fear of exposure and uncertainty of his crime's discovery. That night, Patrick revisits the area where he had previously procured Christie's company. He lures her back with a significant monetary offer, to which she yields, despite her prior trauma. Additionally, he entices Elizabeth, a woman who had long harbored intimate feelings for him. As events escalate, Christie discerns an opportunity to slip away. But as she does, Patrick lethally attacks Elizabeth. Frantically, Christie navigates the residence, stumbling upon ominous evidence, body bags, tools, and bloodstains. As she nears escape, Patrick, wielding a chainsaw, pursues her. Her cries go unnoticed in the building. As she reaches the stairwell, Patrick hurls the activated chainsaw, striking her fatally. In a public setting, Patrick ends his engagement with Evelyn. As she becomes emotionally distraught, he idly sketches a morbid depiction on a paper napkin. Subsequently, he encounters an ATM with an odd message instructing him to feed me a stray cat. On the verge of acting on this bizarre directive, a passing woman shrieks, becoming his next casualty. Police sirens sound, prompting a frenzied Patrick to go on a killing spree, indiscriminately targeting bystanders and law enforcement. Reaching his residence, he records a detailed confession, describing his heinous acts, including the consumption of his victims, on his lawyer's voicemail. The night passes with no pursuit of Patrick. Adhering to his routine, he grooms himself and selects a refined ensemble the next morning. Masked, he visits Paul's dwelling, where he encounters a property agent showcasing the apartment. Scouring the rooms reveals no remnants of his malevolent actions. Confounded, he confronts the agent, who, eager to avoid complications, forcefully ejects him. After ingesting some pills, Patrick dials Jean, informing her of his decision to skip work for the day. His erratic conversation and multiple derogatory remarks raise Jean's suspicions. Once the call ends, she ventures into Patrick's office, discovering a journal filled with disturbing illustrations. Patrick then makes his way to a restaurant where his associates and friends have congregated. Spotting his lawyer among them, he approaches and inquires about the voicemail he'd left. The lawyer, amused, dismisses it as a mere jest. Desperate, Patrick vehemently denies jesting and warns of potential harm to others, citing Paul Allen's supposed fate. However, the lawyer counterclaims, asserting that he'd recently met Paul in London. As Patrick scans the oblivious crowd, he grapples with his reality. He's tormented by confusion. Whether his actions are of little consequence to others, or perhaps merely hallucinations. Regardless, he comes to a chilling realization: the retribution he seeks might forever elude him. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.